Yes, Justice, before I go to Martin. Yeah. Martin has his Constitution Review Commission's report open, ready to show us what many Ghanaians said about Ex-Gratia and what the view was after $6.3 million US. He's still gathering dust.
Something. I want to introduce another dimension to this discussion. So far, the focus has been Article 71, 71, 71. But the people of Ghana ought to know, and I think your platform is one of the key ones for us to educate. Look, it is not only about those prescribed in Article 71. Through the instrumentality of acts passed by Parliament, others have also been roped in beyond those mentioned in 71. So you look at, for example, the Local Government Service Act. It has roped in the MMDCs, the Presidential Staffers Act 1993 thereabout, that has also roped in other persons beyond this. So the situation we have in our hands is actually a Yankson one that goes beyond what the Constitution has also prescribed, except that these ones came through acts of Parliament. And now you have all manner of persons wanting to be in that category that has been loosely described as Article 71. There are also administrative instructions that have also been used to put other persons on similar arrangements. So then the question then is, the key principles of equity, fairness, reasonableness, ability to pay, and what have you, where are we taking these bets? Clearly, if you look at the Professor Yankson Bedu reports, as they did the public consultations, the greater majority of the people were mad, angry, and not happy about the wide disparities between those who have now been christened under this arrangement called Ex-Gratia Article 71, what have you, and the ordinary public sector worker on the single spine policy. If you look at the structure, and Suleimana rightfully said it, there are a lot of inconsistencies, disparities, and it becomes so bizarre, such that we all find ourselves in a situation where the people who are benefiting from same, unfortunately, are the ones who are also driving the agenda. They are not ready to forgo what they are enjoying now. Article 71, even though it doesn't mention Ex-Gratia specifically, it defines salaries to include retirement benefits and awards. And it looks like it is that area that...
It says specifically, Article 71, Clause 3, for the purposes of this article, and except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, salaries, and it puts that into quotation marks, salaries includes allowances, facilities, and privileges, and retiring benefits or awards.
Yes. So it looks like we've come under the retiring benefits and awards and created this Ex-Gratia arrangement. And what makes this approach a bit dangerous is the fact that, as you rightly introduced at the beginning of the show, we have a situation where the standard employment contract arrangements for employing people in whatever organization, be it public sector or private sector, has been turned upside down. We have a situation where you come in as one of these entities, as in persons under this arrangement, and you don't even know what is called your salary. Your salary will rather be determined after you have exited office.
Yes.
All kinds of back pays and arrangements are made, and that is also different from even the Ex-Gratia. And the Ex-Gratia will always be calculated on the bigger quantums.
Yeah.
Why should it be the case that when I join the public service, I'm giving, say, an appointment letter that tells me that, look, this is your starting point, this is how much you earn on monthly basis or annual basis, and then based on the regular arrangements in the system, some adjustment will be made.
Yes.
And then for some category of persons, they come into office and we throw this clear-cut labor principle that our labor act supports away and say that they will be on something akin to payment on account. And then when they exit, That is when we will determine their salaries. If you want to have any, let's say, proper retirement benefits arrangement for them, let's say something akin to what is in the National Pensions Act at 766, you wouldn't even have a basis to determine what their salary is, let alone say that 5% of your salary or 10% should be put here, and maybe government should add a bit of these things to make your life comfortable. So clearly, we need to have a dispassionate discussion at this point in life and get back to where it all began. Per the history, as Dr. Kwamna gave, the initial bits of the Green Street report seem to have taken us on the right tangent. Come 1998, 1999, the agitation starts, we throw everything away, and we find ourselves in this situation where nobody is benefiting except a certain group of persons. And if you look at it, it all ends up as a political elite. Nobody is against them. But it is unconscionable for somebody to work all his life in the public service, 30 years, whatever, and he goes home with what I would describe as peanuts, looking at what others take within relatively short periods.
Peanuts. And then some are taking what cannot buy a bicycle.
And see, and the arrangements are also so bizarre such that there seem to be a duplication per whoever wants to interpret a certain arrangement. For some people, it is deemed that, for example, MPs, it is transitory, for which reason every parliament is seen as a unique one, and once it ends, everything has ended. You may come back 10 times or whatever number of times, and each time you go home with these things. It's so bizarre, and there's so much unfairness in the system. Let's be objective about this. All the people say to all of us is clear that, look, we need to have a change in this arrangement. Let's be bold, go back to the basics and do the right thing. And I think that, to start off with, every public sector person should have his emoluments clearly defined even before the man goes in or right at the start of his job. Let all of us know. And the excesses, let's be bold and cut them out. Because it is so much of a drain on our system. Look, if you look at the way our budgetary cycles go, at the end of any political, era of 4 years, the next 1 to 2 years, there is so much pressure on the public purse to make sure that all these payments are done. And now that we have expanded it, brought in people from MMDC, local people, whatever, special assistants, all kinds of persons have now been made Article 71. And probably it's about time we have a proper interpretation. And some of these acts, if the Supreme Court thinks that they are inconsistent with the provisions of 71, let's try them out. Because we cannot keep expanding the base for this ex-gratia arrangement at the detriment of the majority, but to the benefit of only a certain political class. Why will professionals, so to speak, be made part of this? It will never happen. But the people who engage in real-time politics, they will either be appointed as special assistant or whatever, and through administrative arrangement, not even as of parliament, these people will be paid. We need to depart from it.